dancing, church bells, snowflakes, angelic choirs singing those familiar carols, Silent Night, and so many more. Happy children, with cheeks like rosy apples in the frosty air.
Lining up in a panic at the liquor store, which you had forgotten closes at 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Where does it all come from?
Images of carol singers in snowy lanes are essentially Victorian. Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol was published in 1843 and was very influential in popularizing Christmas.
The success of Dickens' novel was the starting point for the shape of our modern-day celebrations, beginning of an acceleration from Tiny Tim and his friends right through the modern Disneyland financial holocaust that is our modern midwinter ritual.
But of course it is all older, much older. There has been some kind of midwinter celebration since the earliest records of humankind. Perhaps it's natural at the darkest, coldest time of year, when the earth lies dormant, and daytime is often not much more than a smudge on the horizon, to light fires, to feast in some kind of ritual that may ensure that the sun will continue its great cycle and return its life-giving warmth, so that the fields will prosper and life will be sustained for another year.
It is clear that the earliest celebrations are linked with the agricultural year. The first winter celebration began at the end of October. November the 1st was the Celtic New Year. In days of primitive agriculture, much slaughtering of cattle took place at this time because it was not possible to keep beasts through the deep winter months. Although, as agricultural improvements took place, the killing times and its associated feasts came later.
There were midwinter celebrations in the ancient world. Babylon, Egypt, and others showed uncanny parallels to our modern Christmas traditions. Germanic peoples of the north had their festival of Yule. However, the best illustrations of pagan midwinter festivities come from the great days of the Roman Empire.
The whole period from late November through until the end of January was studded with holidays. The greatest of these were the Saturnalia, which took place on the 17th to the 24th of December, and the Calends, which began on the 1st of January.
During these festivals, buildings were brightly lit and decorated with evergreens. Presents were given and greetings exchanged.
Men dressed in women's clothing. And the skins of animals.
Gambling and dice, forbidden at other times, were allowed, and a mock ruler presided over the festivities.
The Saturnalia recalled a time when the kindly Saturn reigned, and goodwill prevailed among men.
Into this came a major factor, Christianity, a vibrant offshoot of the old Hebrew religion. As Christianity began to gain ground, it hit upon the wonderful idea of superimposing its own sacred days upon the pagan festivals already in place.
It was actually centuries after Christ's death before it was considered necessary to choose a date for his birth. The date of December the 25th was chosen primarily because it was the Roman winter solstice. It was also the beginning of the Anglo-Saxon year. Saxon Yule customs and ritual contains much that is recognizable today.
The Saxons likely had no clear understanding of the Christian festival, and succeeding waves of invaders continued to refresh their pagan traditions.
These included the Yule log, mumming plays, the hunting of small birds and animals, fertility rituals around fruit trees, games, songs, and storytelling, great feasts where large amounts of intoxicating liquor were consumed.
I wish down. I don't know where the feathers are going to go.
Or where they've been.
Venerable. According to the Venerable Bede, Yule was preceded by Modron Night, or the Night of Mothers, when watch was kept and religious ceremonies performed in honour of a mother goddess.
Wassail was a Saxon greeting, meaning be healthy. The response was drink ale. There was much wassailing and much drink ale.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. In 1043, the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle referred for the first time to Christmas, and so the English Christmas took shape. Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. Our so cup is made of the rosemary tree, and so is our ale of the finest barley. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
We are not they beggars that beg from door to door, when we are neighbours' children may have been before.
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Shall we sing?
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
We got a little purse that's stretching like the skin. We want some of your money, not lying well within.
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Oh, bring us out your tables, spreaded with a cloth. Bring us out some moldy cheese, some of your Christmas love.
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
God bless the master of this house and his Christmas home, and all the little children who round the table go.
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. Good master and good mistress, while you're sitting by the fire, raising us for children who are wandering in the mire. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
We're all familiar with images of lantern-bearing carolers trooping from house to house. But not only people could be wassailed. Robert Herrick wrote,
Wassail the trees that they may bear, many a plum and many a pear. For more or less fruits they may bring, as you do give them wassailing.
Orchards were visited, ale or cider poured over the roots of trees, while invocations called for a fruitful year.
Here's to the old apple tree, whence may thou bud, and whence may thou blow, and whence may thou bear apples enough, hatfuls, capfuls, bushel sacks full.
Under the stairs, hip, hip, hooray!
Halloween in England is strongly associated with the supernatural. It was the time for a young lady to look in the mirror in hope of catching a glimpse of her future husband. It might be considered prudent on this one evening of the year to perhaps take a somewhat longer route home in order to avoid that misty churchyard.
It was not generally considered to be a children's occasion. However, recent years have seen a significant growth in North American style trick-or-treating.
Now, bonfire night has always been a favorite with English children. On November 5th, 1605, a plot by Catholic militants to blow up the English Parliament was foiled when one of the conspirators, by the name of Guy Fawkes, was discovered in the basement of the House of Lords, keeping watch over 36 barrels of gunpowder.
Okay, so fair enough.
Fawkes, along with his co-conspirators, was hung, drawn, and quartered.
Was he dead?
However, children displaying his effigy immortalize his name every year on November 5th as they beg, "A penny for the guy, mister."
The season between Halloween and Easter was the time for mumming, Now, mummers, with their strange garb and primitive theatrics, were once to be found in almost every village in England. There is a tradition so old, so old, that its meaning has been lost in the mists of ancient time. The symbolism is distinctly pagan. There's always a death, and a resurrection, and a succession of unlikely characters.
Oh yes, and a collecting bowl. Because very early on, some ancient marketing genius, perhaps the forefather of negative billing, discovered this eminently workable principle. Convince the public that they will have bad luck if they don't give some kind of contribution.
This principle has been used for centuries by good luck visitors in the guise of mummers, Morris dancers, wassailers, and is a central theme of this show. Want your money? So you'd better have a loony or two ready on the chance that a group of mummers may come knocking at your door.
Welcome or welcome not, I hope old Father Christmas will never be forgot. Room, ladies and gentlemen, room I do obtain. For after me steps King George and all his noble train. For in this room there shall soon be a most dreadful battle that was ever known betwixt King George and wearing red trunks, Turkish knights. Enter in, King George, and boldly clear the way, because old Father Christmas got a short time to stay.
In comes I, King George! Tis I, King George, that valiant man, of courage bold, it was I that won 5 crowns of gold. 'Twas I that fought a fiery dragon and brought him to a slaughter, and by that means I hope to win the Queen of Egypt's daughter.
In comes I, Turkish knight. Just come from old Turkey land. Old England for to fight. I'll fight thee, King George. King George, that valiant man of courage bold. May the blood be ever so hot, I'll shortly draw it cold.
Whoa! Ah, my little man, you talk brave and bold, just like some of these little lads I've been told. I say, pull out your purse and pay, pull out your sword and fight for satisfaction. I won't have before I win this night.
No purse will I pull out, no money will I pay, but my sword I will draw out and have satisfaction. This day on the ground shall fall.
And battle, battle, I do cry, to see who on the ground shall lie.
To be found, to raise the dead, to heal the wound, and to raise this young man up from the ground. Yes! The noble doctor! Raise this young man up from the ground! Come on! Oh, man! Please, take my horse, Jack! What did you say, Jack? Take him out! Rub him down with a piece of stick! Suck him with a backstop! Get him ready! Get I want him! Now, ladies and gentlemen, here I come from the continent to cure this man King George had slain. How camest thou to be a doctor? I'm the best crack doctor you can get. By my travel. Oh. And where hast thou travelled? Italy, Sicily, France, and Spain. 3 times to the world. And back again? Well, doctor, then what is thy fee? Oh, £10 is my fee, but I must have 15 of fee before I set this gallant free. Rather a high fee, doctor. What? What quality or what? Well, you're a poor, cranky, skin-flint at the Father Christmas. I will not off the farthing. That will make it £14, 19 shillings, 11 pence, and 3 farthings. All right. It's a deal. You're lucky. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a little bottle by my side, the fame of which spreads far and wide. The stuff therein is called Campaign. It will raise the dead to life again. It will cure the hypsy, the pipsy, the palsy, and the gout. All pains within and pains without. I shall drop a little drop on this poor man's nose. That's enough. This is not for national health. Arise, young man, and show the gentle folk around. What a noble doctor there is to be found. Whoa! Well done, doctor! Well done! What is the matter with this young man? Got a toothache?
Yes, sir.
What? How long has that tooth pained you?
A fortnight afore I found it, and 3 weeks since.
Oh! Does any man do more than me? Let Jack Finney come in and see.
My name's not Jack Finney. It's
Mr. Finney, a man of great pain, don't do more than you or any man of this game. You're a fool. Oh, cure this man if he ain't quite stone dead. Raise up my head. I should have magpie one summer too, bake.
How did you do that?
Cut off his head and threw the body in the ditch.
Oh, you cruel and barbarous fellow!
Out of my way, Billy, you're a fool!
Allow me to draw your tooth, young man.
Yes, sir.
Bring me my tooth, you're entitled, Jack.
Fetch it yourself, sir. What's that, Jack? I'm going as fast as I can.
It's so! Get that horse out. That tooth drawing.
Right. Get that. Get that.
Tooth drawing entitled. Out of my way, Finney, you're fired. The buffoon and the man's a buffoon. Ladies and gentlemen. Have my tooth drawing. Hold me up, Jack.
Too much of a fall.
All right, Billy. A long pull. No. A short pull. No good. Where's the rest of them? Hold me up, man. All right. It's a big man. Has been growing in that man's head for 99 years. Way before his great-grandmother was born. If I hadn't pulled it out today, he would have died yesterday. Rise up, old fellow.
Rise up.
Oh, look at it.
Here we are.
Look at that.
Once I was dead, but now I'm alive. God bless the wee doctor that made me survive. If you don't believe these words I say, enter in Beelzebub and clear the way.
In comes I, Beelzebub. Over my shoulder I carries a club. In my hand a dripping pan. I thinks myself a jolly old man. If this frying pan had but a tongue, it'd say, put in your money and think it no wrong. Roast beef, plum pudding, minced pies. Who likes them better than Father Christmas and I?
Nobody!
A drop of Christmas ale, sirs, will make our voices ring. And money in your pocket is a very fine thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, be at your ease. And give us poor mummers just what we please.
I think so. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, then a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you.
Christmas is generally a time of goodwill and enjoyment, but this was not always so. The Puritans had, in Elizabethan times, been very critical of the lingering paganism of some traditions. By the 17th century, they could no longer stand even the Christian traditions.
they decided to do away with Christmas altogether. The Act of 1652, which abolished Christmas, read,
No observation shall be had of the 25th day of December, commonly called Christmas Day, nor any solemnity used or exercised in churches upon that day in respect thereof.
There were no Christmas festivals in England for 8 long years, at least not in public.
Thankfully, however, in 1660, back came the monarchy, and back came Christmas!
Oh, the holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly tree bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a blossom, as white as a lily flower, and Mary was with Jesus Christ to be our sweet Saviour. Oh, the rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a berry, as red as any gold, and Mary was with Jesus Christ to do us in his good. Oh, the rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a berry, as tall as any pole, and Mary was with Jesus Christ to Christmas in the morn. Oh, the rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we singing all in the choir.
Oh, the holly bears a bark, as bitter as any gall, and Mary was with Jesus Christ for to redeem us all.
Oh, the rising of the sun, the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organs, we singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly and the ivy, and they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly tree bears the crown.
Decorations are, of course, an essential part of Christmas. Mistletoe was sacred to the Druids and was cut with a golden sickle by the archdruid. It was often tied beneath a kissing bough.
Who could resist the urge to brighten the poorest cottage with a bit of evergreen from the forest or from a neighbour's hedge? The Christmas tree is relatively modern, becoming popular in Victorian times.
And what was that the mummers were begging for, besides money and drink? Roast beef, plum pudding, mince pies. Of course, we can all identify with that. For isn't a good blowout still a central part of any Christmas festivity?
Certainly, the Christmas turkey has been a popular feature ever since its introduction from the New World in the 16th century. And nothing beats the turkeys from the East Anglian county of Norfolk. For, in the words of another marketing genius, they're Norfolk and good.
Plum pudding, of course. Stirrup Sunday, the last Sunday before Advent, was the last date that puddings could be started if they were to be ready by December 25th.
As we sit with full stomach, racked with guilt over the amount of food we have just consumed, perhaps we should compare our repast with that kept by Richard of Swinfield, Bishop of Hereford at Pressbury, in 1289.
One of the bishop's servants had preceded him to prepare for the feast by superintending a great brewing.
The household appeared in clean linen for the Christmas dinner.
The boar's head was carried into the dining hall amid acclamation and mirth.
And it was garnished with a lemon, which had been bought especially for the occasion.
For the 3 meals on Christmas Day, a company, which included 41 guests, was served. 2 3/4 carcasses of beef, 2 calves, 4 does, 4 pigs, about 60 fowl, 8 partridges, 2 geese, and bread and cheese in proportion.
Now the amount of beer consumed was unscored, but the company of 41 guests drank 40 gallons of red wine and 4 gallons of white wine.
Fair play.
At Queen's College, Oxford, on the Saturday before Christmas, a feast takes place. During this feast, a boar's head is ceremonially displayed. The story goes that in medieval times, a student of the college was walking in the forest of Chateaubourg when he was attacked by a wild boar. He defended himself with the only weapon he had, which happened to be his copy of Aristotle. This he skillfully thrust down the beast's throat. The boar's head is borne into this carol.
The boar's head in hand bear I, bedecked with bays and rosemary. And I pray my masters be merry, questes in convivio. Caput apride ferro, rens laudes Domino. Caput apride ferro, rens laudes Domino. At the boar's head, as I understand, is the bravest dish in all the land. And thus bedecked with a gay garland, let us servire cantico. Caput apride ferro, redens laudes Domino. Caput apride ferro, redens laudes Domino. Our steward hath provided this in honor of the King of bliss, which on this day to be served is in regimentia trio. Caput apride ferro, redens laudes Domino. Caput apride ferro, redens laudes Domino.
Christmas Eve would see the Yule log hauled in. This is probably an echo of the Celtic belief in the sacredness of perpetual fire. The Vikings burnt oak logs in honor of the god Thor. It is traditional to light the log with a brand from last year's log. Once again, Robert Herrick has a verse.
Come bring with a noise, ye merry boys, the Christmas log to the firing. While my good Dame she bids you all be free and drink to your heart's desiring.
In some areas of England, the Yule log is replaced by the ashen flagon, a bundle of sticks held together with ash bands. In other places, a large candle provides the ceremonial fire.
Charity has always had a strong presence in Christmas tradition. Friendly societies and welfare institutions have always taken the opportunity to prick the conscience in an effort to induce sympathy for those less fortunate.
Just as Dickens' two charitable society gentlemen tried to stir sympathy in the icy heart of Ebenezer Scrooge, present-day representative of the Salvation Army with his handbell and collection box is a forceful reminder that the destitute souls hovering in the doorway of any 21st century city are no less pitiful than the poor of Victorian London. A message which is poignantly delivered in the following song.
Wassail all over the town. A cup is white, a rail is brown. But huddled on this iron grate, we poor and hungry curse our fate.
No wassail bowl for such as these, no turkey scraps, no ale, no cheese. It's Christmas Eve, our heart's desire is a bottle of gin and a trash can fire.
Christian minds, as home you go, with dreams of holly and mistletoe. That the holly bears a dreadful thorn for those who wake to a frozen dawn.
No wassail bowl for such as these, no turkey scraps, no ale, no cheese. It's Christmas Eve, our heart's desire. It's a bottle of gin and a trash can fire.
Oh, where is he, that holy child, once born of Mary, meek and mild, and with a peace, goodwill to men, now and forever more, amen.
No wassail bowl for such as these, no turkey scraps, no ale, no cheese. It's Christmas Eve, our heart's desire is a bottle of gin and a trash can fire.
And you with face aglow in red gin and tea at Rio, please pause a while at pleasure's door and sup some sorrow with the poor.
No wassail bowl for such as these, no turkey scraps, no ale, no cheese. It's Christmas Eve, our heart's desire is a bottle of gin and a trash can fire.
Wassail all over the town. A cup is white, a rail is brown. With sorrow, suffering, pain and care,
Sweet Jesus Christ is hard to bear.
England is remarkable in that its different areas have such a variety of traditions. The northeastern counties of Northumberland and Durham are home to a unique style of sword dance, which is traditionally seen during the midwinter season. This is the rapper dance.
The rapper is thought to have evolved from an older form of dance called longsword, which may well have come to England with the Norsemen in the Dark Ages.
On a street corner or in a saloon bar, sword dancers weave and lock their swords in intricate patterns. It begins with a calling on song, and as dancers slip into their tight formation, we may see, if we look closely, shadows of Viking invaders from 1,000 years ago.
Come, people, give ear to my story. We have called for the sea by chance. 5 heroes I bring blithe and bonny, intending to give you a dance. For Vancouver is our habitation. It's the place we were all born and bred. There is no finer team in this nation, and no man more gallantly led. Now it's not for your gold nor your silver, nor yet for the gain of your gear, but we've come for to take a week's pleasure, and to welcome the incoming year. My team, they're all fit for action, with courage and spirits of old. They were all born of noble extraction. Their fathers were heroes of old. So you've met or defined noble heroes by birth, and each bears as good of a character as any such hero on earth. Now if they be as good as their fathers, their deeds are deserving record. It is all this whole company desires, is to see how we handle our sword.
around the Yorkshire city of Sheffield is the centre of a vigorously thriving tradition known as the village carol. This tradition, well over 200 years old, has its origins in the music of the 18th century country churches. Although they were ignored by the university-trained clerics who developed the Church of England hymn book, so strong was the grassroots popularity of these carols that they were kept alive by those who continue to sing them in their homes and local pubs today. This tradition is remarkable for the joy and enthusiasm of the singing, and the company would like you all to join in this carol. You may not know the tune, but you will know the words. We would now... The company would like you to teach them the song. We would now like to recreate something of the atmosphere of a December Sunday lunchtime at the Royal Hotel in the Yorkshire village of...
And glory shone around.
Oh, goodness sake. This is wrong. Wait a minute.
Ah, good. It's the Grand Pub, that, isn't it? Where was it again? Dunworth. Dunworth.
That's right, yeah.
I bet they grow a Grand Road out there. Dunworth. Fuck me. Again, I get so carried away with the singing. Which are you?
B is very important.
Well, it is. As we were in a pub, wouldn't be much good to be one of them Australian ones with no beer. Well, here we go. Back to the script. No English pantomime, no English Christmas is complete without a visit to the pantomime. And no pantomime would be complete without that ultimate mother figure, temptress, goddess, the day.
I said, get out of here, it doesn't look a bit like rain.
kitchen. He lines out the gutters. But, you know, he came back, he always does, he always likes to have the last word. He says, that's maturity. I said, maturity? Seems like a block of old Gorgonzola. It's about how they smell, too. But, you know, he kept going back and he said, you're jealous. He says, because we've been in a movie. I said, in a movie? What you in a movie? I didn't know. They did a retake of The Night of the Living Dead. About perfect for them. And then he shot back, yeah, so what were you in? Lethal Weapon 2? But they were in a movie, you know. There's a movie called The Cove. It's a futuristic sort of plot about a place that's all bleak and desolate. A bit like BC after a year under golden candy. But, you know, this show business thing, it's starting to wear a bit thin, you know. I'm thinking of giving it up. Well, when you've done it all, I'm thinking of one of the nice patronage positions. You know, I'd rather have governor's balls than a bit part in a Morris dancing review like this. So, anyway, take that Adrian Clarkson and that other, that one we've got. I own a camping gas or something like that. I mean, let's face it, there are people in the audience that think that my dress sense is a bit, you know, lopsided. Yeah, that's true. But when you look at their dress sense, a cross between Princess Anne and Dame Edna. But, so I phoned that Ray Fair fella, you know, the one with the radio show. Well, he's a kind of a smart aleck kind of personality. I said, what do you think? He says, how's your French? My French? Safe enough. Let's see, Marcel, Bessie Buckets, Horse Duvers, Peanut Noir, Jean Cretin, Deja Vu, I'm practically bilingual, I'm not going to write any complaints. He said, you better be a good liberal. I says, is Adrian Clarkson more liberal than me? I don't think so. So, anyway, we're coming to that point in the show now where we get to sing a song together. You like to sing a song? Yeah. So anyway, this song is all about Morris dancers, and it kind of peers behind the scenes and kind of strips away all of this stuff about tradition and we've got to do it and all that stuff. It's all about drinking and debauchery when it comes right down to it. So this song kind of blows a bit right off of that, and there's a chorus. So you up for a song? Yes! Oh, that sounds very enthusiastic, doesn't it? Put it this way, it's Christmas. We've got your money and you ain't getting it back. You're here now anyway, so you might as well have a good time. So you up for a song? Yeah! And I'll introduce you to my bevy of hunks, the Toy Boys. Let's have the Toy Boys out. drinks up quick. Now we're going to get rusty. Find some drugs to put a tune, and we'll be Morris dancing scene.
They do the Morris dance. They let's process and dance. Up and down, round and round, till you fall down on the ground.
So I was talking to my friend Edna, in our first name terms, Edna and I said, well, you've got a lot of experience in this game too. I said, what do you think of the outfit? She said, well, it's okay, but I'm from Oz and it's a bit kind of skimpy, a bit thin for this weather. She said, is anything worn under there? I said, oh no, it's all in perfect working order.
gift or Christmas box to servants or tradespeople.
In some parts of England, the Boxing Day tradition was wren hunting, surely a vestige of a pagan ceremony.
We'll hunt the wren, says Jack of the Land. We'll hunt the wren, says every man.
Where, oh, where, says Robin the Robin. Where, oh, where, says Richie the Robin.
Where, oh, where, says Jack of the Land. Where, oh, where, says every man.
And on the green bush says Robin the Robin. And yonder green bush says Richie the Robin.
And yonder green bush says Jack of the Land. And yonder green bush says every man.
How can him dance, says Robin the Robin.
How can him dance, says Richie the Robin. How can him dance, says Jack of the Land. How can him dance, says every man.
Sticks and songs says Robin the Robin. Sticks and songs says Richie the Robin. With sticks and songs
says Jack of the Land. With sticks and songs says every man.
How get him home, says Richie the Robin. How get him home, says Jack of the Land. How get him home, says every man.
The brewers big cart says Robin the Robin. The brewers big cart says Richie the Robin. The brewers big cart says Jack of the Land.
The brewers big cart says every man.
How we eat him, says Robin the Robin.
How we eat him, says Richie the Robin. How we eat him, says Jack of the Land. How we eat him, says every man.
With knives and forks says Robin the Robin. With knives and forks says Richie the Robin.
With knives and forks says Jack of the Land. With knives and forks says every man.
Who come to the dinner, says Robin the Robin.
Who come to the dinner, says Richie the Robin. Who come to the dinner, says Jack of the Land. Who come to the dinner, says every man.
The king and the queen says Robin the Robin. The king and the queen says Richie the Robin.
The king and the queen says Jack of the Land. The king and the queen says every man.
In English folklore to the 12 days of Christmas and to Old Christmas Day. What is this all about?
The Roman calendar had been organized around the phases of the moon. By the 16th century, this error had accumulated such that the calendar was incorrect by no less than 10 days.
In 1582, Pope Gregory decreed that the year be shortened by 10 days to correct this error.
Protestant England was definitely not going to be told what day it was by the Pope. It was another 169 years before England came around to the idea of adopting the Gregorian calendar. By this time, England was 11 days ahead of the continent.
Finally, in 1751, a Calendar Act was passed. This stated that the day after September 2nd was to be not the 3rd, but the 14th.
Many people are unable to understand. and were under the impression that the government had stolen 11 days of their lives and deprived them of 11 days' wages. In some parts there were riots and cries of, "Give us back our 11 days!"
There is a legend that Joseph of Arimathea visited England. The legend goes that as he slept one night, his staff, which was stuck into the ground, took root, becoming the Glastonbury thorn, which flowered on Christmas Day. Although Puritans cut down the original thorn, many cuttings had been taken.
In 1753, 2,000 people in Quainton, Buckinghamshire, watched a thorn that had regularly budded on Christmas Day. When it did not bud until January the 5th, it was seen as clear evidence that this being the correct day.
This is where the 12 days comes from, and this is the reason why January 5th is still often referred to as Old Christmas Day.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves
and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens,
2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 canary birds,
3 French hens,
2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me
5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 geese a-laying.
5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 8 deer a-running,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 9 lads a-leaping,
8 deer a-running,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 10 ladies skipping,
9 lads a-leaping,
8 deer a-running,
7 swans a-swimming,
6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 canary birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 11 birds a-baiting,
Christmas and New Year in England have their own poignancy. There is a certain restful quality with Christmas over and the New Year festivities are looked forward to. It is perhaps a time for visiting relatives not seen too often during the year.
At this time of the year, days are short, mornings often frosty, with perhaps a little slanting midday sunshine to highlight the last beauty of the leaves of autumn. Often the first winter snow will come in these days. It is a time which reflects the scenes so familiar on Christmas cards.
The Copper family of Sussex, perhaps the greatest of English traditional song carriers, have a song which reflects this period in the English countryside. Each verse a picture postcard of the winter landscape.
The trees all are bare, not a leaf is to be seen, and the meadows their beauty have lost. Now winter has come, and 'tis cold for man and beast, and the streams they are, and the streams they are, all fast bound down with frost. 'Twas down in the barnyard where the oxen feed on straw, their breath they send forth like the steam. Sweet Betsy the milkmaid, it quickly she must go, for the flakes of ice she finds, for the flakes of ice she finds, a-floating on the green. It's now that the small birds in the barn door fly for corn, and lightly they rest on the spray. And down the plantation the hares all search for food, and lift their footsteps sure, lift their footsteps sure, for fear they do betray. Now Christmas is come, and our song is almost done, for we soon shall have the turn of the year. So lift up your glasses and let your health go round, for we wish you all, for we wish you all a joyful New Year.
Christmas is for children, and the adults get their chance on New Year's Eve. Liquor consumption reaches a peak.
There is widespread reenactment of one of the most basic primordial rituals. This is the banging This is the banging of pots and pans, intended to frighten away the spirits of the netherworld, who are always attracted by the magical energy of these special occasions.
A milestone so significant as the ending and beginning of a year carries, of course, great potential for bringing about change in one's life. It is widely believed that the fortune of the entire household was dependent upon the attributes of the first person to cross the threshold after the turning of the year. This person is known as the first footer.
Superstitions regarding first footers are many, and the qualifications required to be successful are varied and complex.
Families will often go to great pains to arrange events such that the first foot to cross their threshold on New Year's Day belonged to one endowed with all the proper qualities.
The ideal first footer should be male. There's more? I'll see bunch. He should be neither fair nor dark-haired. He should not be flat-footed, not with all these dancers around. Ideally, he should have insteps sufficiently arched so that water may pass underneath.
He should not be lame, or blind in one eye, nor should he have splayed feet, or eyebrows that meet in the middle.
The first footer carried symbolic gifts. A coin, a piece of coal, 6-day-old turkey leg, half-used transit ticket, piece of softwood lumber. On entering the house, he should shake hands with and give the coin to the man of the house, and kiss the woman of the house.
Be careful not to hurt too much.
He should then throw his wood on the fire with some invocation such as, "Allow me your lumberjack, Jimmy."
Which translates as "long may your chimney smoke."
The first days of the new year see some other curious traditions. On January 6th, in the Lincolnshire village of Haxey, there takes place what is likely the father and mother of all your cup finals, Grey Cups, and Super Bowls.
Match of the day. Who recognised that one? Led by a character called My Lord, with attendants known as Boggins, and one wonders if Tolkien was ever around that way. Local youths from two neighbouring villages struggle and jostle for possession of a roll of leather referred to as a hood. The contest usually lasts many hours, the steaming tangle of bodies lurching through streams, fields and hedges, until finally one side claims victory by triumphantly bearing the hood to their own pub.
Twelfth Night had its heyday before the Reformation. It was popular in the royal court with Twelfth Night cake, a king of the bean, or lord of misrule. After the Reformation, it never regained the same significance and is now largely regarded as the time by which decorations must be taken down.
Plough Monday is the first Monday after 12th night. This would be the first day of ploughing for the new year. Maybe yet another excuse to extend the holidays? Perhaps. However, we do know that plough ceremonies go back many centuries.
Anciently, a light called the plough light was maintained before images in some churches by persons who were husbandmen. On Plough Monday, they had a feast and went about with a plough and dances to get money to support the plough light.
The Reformation, in particular, a royal injunction of 1538, put out forever the plough lights. However, the celebration still continued outside of the church. In this century, the Church of England has taken once again to blessing ploughs.
Ploughboys, known as plough stots, plough jogs, or plough bullocks, would decorate the plough and themselves with ribbons.
Made bold by a primitive disguise of face, blackened with soot or burnt cork, they followed their lord and Molly in savage mockery of their aristocratic betters.
Once again, working the principle, give or you will have bad luck. They would haul the plough through the village, their musicians leading often with the anthem of all English country tunes, Speed the Plough!
a good year in the fields, eh?
Aye.
Speed the plough!
Speed the plough!
Right, let's have a couple of lines of men. Right along here. Madam, oh, you look lovely tonight. Are you ready? Yes. All right, I'll get ready.
this year on the rounds. There's plenty of money in the kitty.
I haven't not finished yet. I think these ladies want to dance.
What'll we do?
I think we'll do the willow tree.
Okay.
All right, that's a good one.
take down a brand from the Christmas log to be used to rekindle next year's Yule log. Once again, Robert Herrick has a verse.
Kindle the Christmas brand, and then till sunset let it burn, which quenched, then late up again, till Christmas next return.
Candlemas Eve was the moment for the last farewells to Christmas.
country folk took down the holly and the ivy to put snowdrops in their place.
Replacing the winter evergreens with the first of the spring blossoms was a sign that winter's end was in sight. Spring, albeit feebly, had begun.
And we, with Candlemas, like the country folk, take our leave of Christmas.
Down with the rosemary and bay, down with the mistletoe. Instead of holly, now upraise the greener box to show. Thus times do shift, thus times do change, each thing its turn doth hold. New things succeed, new things succeed.